You know that super annoying friend that you've got that just keeps talking and talking and just won't shut up? Picture that they've just given you a call, but you're working and they don't seem to pick up on this. So they're yapping away, but the point of the call is actually to make dinner plans. And suddenly the call ends and you realize that you have no idea what you've just agreed to, but you've agreed to dinner plans. Now, a little while later, your wife or your partner comes and asks you, and definitely not speaking from experience here, but they ask you, okay, so when are they coming? What are they bringing? Those 2 minutes are some of the most exhausting minutes of your life. And believe me, it's exactly the same with AI, but there's actually a super simple way to fix it. And what is it? Well, just own your decisions. And it's actually the first of 3 simple points that I want to share with you in this video to get you from leaving your days frustrated and just exhausted to leaving them going, wow, I actually got so much work done and I can do it again tomorrow, because that's the trick. Sustainable AI use, not just these speed sessions that leave you feeling drained. So let's get into point number 1. I want to do something different here and actually show you instead of just talking about this. So check this out. This is a YouTube dashboard that I've built just to help me plan my videos. Just basic points that I'm going to make, a scratch pad of things I might want to say. Really simple, right? And super useful. I can come up with some title ideas and whatnot.
Wow.
Now I want you to compare that to this. Look at this. Like, this was a different video that I was going to make. How many points are there? My goodness. I'm like going through here. I couldn't even read all of this in the time it's going to take me to film this video. It's honestly absolutely ridiculous. And the ironic thing is, check this out. Literally says here, deliberately sparse. Yeah, I can't believe it. Basically, this is me building the same 2 things. But the first go that I had at it, I didn't own my decisions. I kind of just said, hey, I want to build this dashboard to help me plan YouTube videos. Go for it. And before I knew where it was, this monstrosity was built, and I found myself literally in prepping for this video, which is the highest form of irony, getting so frustrated with the AI and like almost shouting at it like, where on earth are you getting these ridiculous ideas from? What on earth is going on? And I spend so much time planning for stuff that I'm just going to say off the cuff now anyways. So really, really good example of how just taking ownership of the decisions that you make can lead to such a clearly better product that actually helps me and fits the purpose. And that's actually really similar to point 2, but we'll get there in a moment. Just to wrap up with point 1 first. When you start owning your decisions, a couple of things happen. Firstly, you move slightly slower initially, but revisions and follow-ups become infinitely easier because you remember why you did what you did. And so if you need to follow up something, or if you need to answer a question, or if you need to make revisions, suddenly this is like trivial because you know exactly where the takeoff point is. Like, you know exactly where you need to go from here. It's like the thing of sharpening your axe before you cut down the tree. But not only that, you still own your work. That might seem like a weird thing to say, like obviously you own your work, but it's actually becoming really important because things that go out with your name on it, whether it's an email, whether it's a document, whether it's code, whatever it is, whether it was generated by you or AI, it doesn't really matter. You put that work out and you really need to know at the very least what decisions went into making that thing. So now we move on to point number 2, which is keep the work that you love and delegate the work that you hate. I want you to start thinking like an entrepreneur here. You've started your own business and the business is suddenly growing. And so you want to delegate tasks. But what happens if you love the outreach of the job and you love writing the weekly newsletter, but you really just hate doing your accounting and you hate something else? You're not going to hire a person to do your outreach and write your newsletter. That would be absolutely stupid because you're just taking out the things that you love and leaving yourself with the things that you hate. Hence, keep the work that you love, delegate the work that you hate. I'm sure that we've all got examples of moments where we try to give stuff to AI that really was just a stupid idea. Please chuck it in the comments because that'll be hilarious to read through the stuff that you've tried to give to AI. But I'm going to take a bit of a different spin here because it really is different for everyone. And so instead of telling you what you should give to AI, I'm going to give you a framework that will help you figure that out yourself. So this is actually something which I covered in depth in a recent video. So you're welcome to check that out after this. But 30-second summary, basically you draw one of these little diagrams and you list out the things that you're considering doing with AI and you plonk them on here. So once you put down your list, I want you to cross out everything in this section over here. So you don't want to do anything that you are amazing at and love. And I want you to immediately start looking at everything in this section over here. And really, like, it's as simple as that. You want to delegate the stuff that you hate and are bad at, and you want to keep the stuff that you're amazing at and you love. And I would argue as a hot take that even if you're going to be slower than delegating that thing to AI, if you really love something and you're good at it, just keep doing it. There's really no point in over optimizing your life to the point of quite literally exhaustion. So now we've covered point 1, which is own your decisions, and point 2, which is keep what you love and delegate what you hate. But now it's time to get into the real meat and potatoes, which is point number 3. So point 3 states, know which phase you're in and act accordingly. So I try to come up with names for these phases, and I landed on the seed, the sapling, and the sequoia. They're not perfect, but they kind of do the trick, and you'll see why. So here we have them. And starting with the seed, in this stage, like, okay, but it's a seed. I don't necessarily know what it is. I'm fairly confident that this could one day become a tree, but more than that, I don't know. And so you have only the idea. You don't know what yet, because looking at the seed, unless you're a botanist, I don't know what the seed is going to become. It could become a sequoia. I've got absolutely no idea. So you don't know what, and you also don't know how. Like, I cannot fathom how this thing can end up turning into this. Like, I've got absolutely no idea. This is where all ideas start out, and this is not a great time to use AI. I'll tell you why. AI tends to regress to the median. And what does that mean? Well, AI is trained on a whole bunch of data. So let's say that you're writing an email. That email that it writes you out is going to be what its internal weightings have decided are the most likely form to write an email in. This was the thing before watermarking, and after watermarking, it's just, let's not even go there. But the point is, there's certain internal weightings that the model has, which make statistical decisions on what the most likely output is going to be. If you're coming up with an idea, you really don't want to use statistical weightings to decide what the most likely outcome of your idea is going to be. That's a perfect way to be absolutely ordinary. In this phase, what you rather want to be doing is going and talking to people, because people are so vastly different that the number of ideas that will just get thrown at you are so absurd that one of them will capture your attention. And by piecing together those little oddball ideas, you can then build an actual novel product without the help of AI. If you don't have people around you who are interested in this idea, which is a real thing, then AI can be useful, but you need to be very specific about the way that you guide it. You have to tell it that it is helping you to get to an idea, and it must ask you questions that are designed to get you to that point where you understand your own idea. But trust me, this doesn't beat just speaking to real people about it. And honestly, it shouldn't, because that's the whole point of having friends and having a community around you. But after spending some time as a seed, your idea eventually progresses into the sapling phase. Believe it or not, this is actually a sequoia sapling. And so, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be able to tell it that it's going to become this thing. But if you know the field, then you start having a decent idea of what this can become. You just don't know how yet. And this is the perfect time to research and plan. In order to get this little sapling to become the sequoia, you'd better do some research and some planning to figure out what on earth you do to it. You wouldn't want to just hope and see if it likes, oatmeal or something like that, and the next thing your precious sapling dies. In this phase, you can definitely use AI. AI can be super helpful to figure out how to turn this little sapling into the giant sequoia, but you don't want to be leaning entirely on the AI's knowledge. You also want to do your own due diligence, maybe speak to some people, maybe read some books, and just generally get a better understanding of the field. And if you're lucky, you will then find yourself in the sequoia phase, which is now where we see the full picture. So you have the full picture, you are the expert, and you know both what and how. And this is a really, really good place to be when working with AI. And the main reason that this is such a good place to be comes back to our main point of this video, which is AI is leaving you exhausted and you don't know what to do about it. You're trying to use AI when you don't know what you want to do yet. If you've ever sat in a lesson with someone who's trying to teach you what to do and you don't have a clue what's going on, that's really exhausting, let alone when you're trying to actually do work and you don't know what's going on. So if you get to this phase, to the sequoia phase, where you know exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it, you are the expert in the field, then delegating that work is the same as delegating work has always been. Whether you're delegating it to another person or to AI, it really doesn't matter. And what you want to do is slowly ramp up your own understanding to the point where working with AI stops becoming exhausting, because you know what you want to do. You're owning your decisions, you've chosen to delegate the right tasks, and you know which phase you're in and you're acting accordingly. More importantly, you're trying really hard to get to that sequoia phase where you know exactly what needs to be done and you can just delegate it to the AI. This is a really nice point just to loop back around to these two examples and just look at the difference you'd get from using these tools. I mean, there's like 4 videos on here and the system is completely unusable already compared to this, which is just genuinely useful. It's only got stuff that I know is in here, and this can actually be a real help to me. So I hope this has inspired you, but I've finished so many days where I've just been exhausted and drained from what feels like fighting with a robot the entire day, and it really doesn't have to be like that. Just make sure that you own the decisions, that you delegate only what you need to, and most importantly, that you understand which phase you're in and act accordingly. And you can start finishing days with lots of energy left and really just going, wow, I got so much work done and I don't feel drained. So if you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe. I'd love to see you guys around next time. Cheers.